Morning, everyone. If you can hear me and if you're able to see the presentation without any trouble, please confirm by commenting on the chat panel. Good morning, everyone. Before I move with the training, I'd like to know if you can hear me and if you're able to see the presentation without any trouble. So if you can, please confirm by commenting on the chat panel so that I can proceed with the training today. We've received quite a few confirmations, so I'm moving on with the training. So welcome everyone to the first part of the free network configuration manager training. So today, as I said, is the first part of the two-part training where we'll be looking into configuration backup and disaster recovery. And next week, same time, on the 13th of August, we'll be looking into features like config lists, compliance, role-based access control, and reports NCM. So I'm your trainer for today. My name is Arjun Premkumar, and I'm a product expert for ManageEngine's Network Configuration Manager, which is a part of the ITOM suite. So in the ITOM suite, we have 6 different solutions that cater to 6 different parts of your network. So first we have Op Manager, which is the flagship product of the ManageEngine ITOM suite. So Op Manager helps you with performance monitoring of various network devices, health monitoring, WAN monitoring, and it also has workflow automation features. And additionally, there are also storage monitoring features as well. So this will help you with the entire performance monitoring and other parameters inside your network. Then we have NetFlow Analyzer, which is a bandwidth monitoring solution. So with NetFlow Analyzer, you can detect anomalies in your bandwidth. You can detect if any kind of malicious user has entered your network without you knowing it. And you can also use it for traffic shaping. Then we have Network Configuration Manager, which is a configuration management and change management. And it also helps you with compliance auditing. So it's a tool that encompasses the entire configuration management in your network devices. Then we have Firewall Analyzer, which is a compliance management and firewall rule policy management for all the firewall devices in your network. Then we have Oputils, which is an IP address management, IP address and switchport management solution. And one of the key features it has is the rogue detection feature, which helps network admins to identify if there's any malicious devices that has been newly connected to the business's LAN network. Then we finally have Applications Manager. So Applications Manager is an agentless monitoring tool for all of your application, both on-premise and cloud, uh, including all your physical and virtual servers. So in the first part, as I said earlier, we'll be looking into configuration, backup, and disaster recovery. So I'll be talking about these features, and on the side, I'll also be showing you how you can use these features in your network to ensure that there's no kind of network disaster that tramples down your business's productivity. So this is the agenda for today. First, we'll be looking into why you need a configuration management tool. Then we'll be looking into the requirements for installing NCM in your network. Then we'll be looking into device discovery, templates, how you can apply credentials, how you can take backups of all the configuration of the network devices in your network. Then we'll be looking into change management. Finally, we'll be looking into firmware vulnerability management and disaster recovery. So let's first look into why you need a configuration management solution. So right now, taking this situation of the pandemic alone, a lot of us have moved out of the company walls, and most of them are working from their own homes. And even some of them are working from their own devices instead of the office provided devices. So in such times, there are multiple configuration changes that have to be made to serve the remote users so that they have a seamless experience while working on a network through a VPN. So in such times, multiple configuration changes are made, but these changes have to be made very carefully. And if any kind of change has a loophole, it can lead to a network disaster, a data breach, or any kind of malicious activity that will slow down your productivity. So in such times, you will have to have a tool that can detect changes in real time, and you must also be able to roll back to a trusted version of a configuration or the previous version of the configuration, which prove that it is very stable and secure. And you'll also have to ensure that you comply with various industry standards like PCI policy, the HIPAA policy, SOX policy, and so on, so that you avoid any chances of attacks, and you can also avoid the chances of any legal consequences by complying to those policies. And overall, you need to streamline all of these processes like change management, compliance management, and configuration backup and rolling back to a trusted version of the configuration. So all of this, when done manually, is prone to errors and consumes a lot of time. So in such cases, if you have a configuration management solution, it becomes very easy for the admin to get very precise results in configuration management, change management, and compliance management. So with Network Configuration Manager, you can do all of these operations very simply and very securely in your network. So the features that have most effect in your network with Network Configuration Manager is the configuration comparison, starting from the top right, configuration comparison, configuration rollback, and there's also a review and approval based configuration change mechanism where the requests are sent from the network users to the network admin so that they can look into the configuration changes and then make the appropriate changes and apply them to devices. Then there's the remote firmware upgrade, which will help you ensure that you do not fall prey to a firmware vulnerability related attack. So you can upgrade your firmware from anywhere around the world as long as you have connectivity to the business's LAN. Then there's policy compliance verification, where you can ensure that you comply with various industry standards and also internal compliance policies as well. So you can do that within NCM. Then there's user-based access, where you can grant every user a separate credential so that you know which user is making what kind of changes in your network. And then there's real-time change detection, where if any kind of change is made in the network, the network configuration management solution itself triggers configuration backup. And then finally, we have job scheduling, where you can schedule multiple mundane or repetitive tasks in your network so that they can seamlessly run every day, every week, or whatever time period you choose them to run for. So moving on to the prerequisites or the minimum system requirement. So you'd need a 2 gigahertz dual-core processor, minimum of 4 GB RAM, 100 GB storage, PostgreSQL and MSQL, and the operating systems can both be Windows and Linux. So NCM runs on both of these operating systems. And these specifications are for an environment with 50 or lesser devices. If you have more than 50 devices, you can go and refer to our system requirements page on our website. So before I move on with the training, I'd like to inform all of you that we will be sending the training materials, the recording and the presentation after the training. So the ports and protocols that have to be made available for NCM are SSH, SCP, and TFTP protocols. And the ports are 69 TFTP, 22 SSH SCP, 514 syslog, 13306 Postgres database, and 8080 for HTTP. So regardless of how many devices you have in your network that you want to manage using Network Configuration Manager, you'll have to make all of these ports and protocols available. So moving on to device discovery, before you start managing a device, you must first discover the device into your inventory. So this is how the discovery operation happens with the Network Configuration Manager discovery engine. So first, when you try to discover a device, an SNMP request is sent to the device, and the device responds by sending its subject ID back to the discovery engine within Network Configuration Manager. NCM checks this is subject ID, and if a match is found with an already existing subject ID in the NCM database, the device is immediately associated with a device template and added to the inventory. But if a match is not found, the device is not added, but then you can add it manually, and I'll be showing you how you can do this. So the SNMP profiles that NCM supports is SNMP v1, v2, and v3. So you can discover devices using these two methods. The major methods are SNMP discovery, where you can discover devices using the IP address, IP range, or via a CSV file import. And then there's manual addition, where you can enter the IP address or the host name of the device. You will have to specify the vendor then and there, and also select a device template to which it has to be associated to. You can also alternatively do the manual addition using a CSV file import, and the CSV file must be in this particular format for NCM to be able to discover the device successfully. So let me just quickly take you to the UI. which is the inventory of the network configuration manager solution. So to discover a new device using the SNMP discovery, all you have to do is go to settings, go to, go to discovery, go to network discovery. Here you can, if you want to discover a single device, all you have to do is click on the IP address host name here, give the IP address, associate a credential here, and then click on discover, and NCM will discover this particular device into your network. Or you can give it an IP address range here, and NCM will discover all the devices in that particular range, and it will show you the devices that are being discovered. And then you can select the credential here and click on discover, and NCM will immediately give a list of all the devices that are in that particular IP range. So this again, the as I said, the network devices will only be discovered if a sysobject ID match is found within the network. So going back to the manual addition, you'll have to go to the inventory, click on the plus symbol here. So here you can specify the host name or the IP address of the device. You'll have to select the vendor here from the dropdown. Select a device template that would suit the device. Type in the series, the model, so on, and all the other details. And once you click on add, this device will be immediately added to the inventory. And you can do this via a CSV file import as well. So all you have to do is click on browse, upload the CSV file in this particular format, and click on import. And once you do that, NCM will discover the device that have been specified in the CSV file. So there might be errors while you're trying to discover devices into your network. So the common cause is that the device might be reachable, but the SNMP community is not correct. So this could be one of the reasons, or if the SNMP itself is disabled in the device. So you can fix this by going and checking if the SNMP read community is right while you've specified the device credentials, or you can go and check if the SNMP is disabled in the device. And if it is disabled, you will have to manually log into the device using telnet or PuTTY and enable SNMP in the device. Also, it could be due to the sysobject ID not being mapped to any of the device templates. So you can fix this using the sysobject ID finder in settings. So I'll be showing you how to do that. Or another reason could be that there's no device template that is available in NCM for that particular device. So to fix this, you'll have to add or clone any of the existing device templates, or you can always contact NCM support and we'll help you out. So about the sysobject finder in settings, all you have to do is go to settings here, go to device management, go to the sysobject ID finder here. Click on the add button here. So here you can enter the host name or the IP address in case you do not know what the sysobject ID of that particular device is. All you have to give is the host name or the IP address of the device. You can select an SNMP profile here, or you can choose to enter the credentials of the device manually. And once you click on next, you'll be taken to a window. So let me just show you how that works here. So once you enter the device IP, you'll be taken to the next window where you'll have to associate the particular device template to the device to which you want to add to the inventory of the network configuration manager. So once you do that, the particular sysobject ID will be permanently associated with the device template, and every time you try to associate a device with the same sysobject ID, NCM will automatically discover that device into the network. So Moving on to the device templates. So device templates are basically a collection of the various commands for specific operations like configuration backup, configuration upload, enable, disable, syslog change detection, or you can use it to fetch hardware information as well. So all of these basic codes would be stored in a device template. And since every different vendor has a different kind of code for these basic operations, it becomes very difficult for the network admins to keep track of all of these codes. So we provide default device templates for all the major vendors like Nokia, Brocade, Cisco, D-Link, Fortinet, and so on. And users are free to create their own custom device templates as well. So let me show you the existing device templates. Go to settings, go to device management and device templates here. So these are the available device templates in Network Configuration Manager right now. So some of these are default templates and some of these are custom templates. So you can choose to clone an existing device template if a particular device is not associated with any device template at all. You can always clone a device template and you can change it accordingly to the new device that you are going to discover into your inventory. So here you can change the name here. You can give it a description if you want to. You can choose to clone all the CLI configuration commands, or you can uncheck this option if you don't want that to happen. You can choose the iOS type here, the OS type here, and here you can choose the vendor. So you can choose a vendor from the existing list of vendors, or you can choose a new vendor here. So you'll have to specify all the details here. And once you're done with that, you can choose the device type, if it's a router, switch, or firewall, and you can click on next. So once you do that, here you can choose the CLI configuration, the commands and the protocol for various operations. And here you can select the timeout as well. You can increase or decrease the timeout according to your requirements. So the protocols available are SSH, SSH-SCP, Telnet, TFTP, so on. So once you're done entering all of those commands, you can click on next. And here you can associate the sysobject ID of the device which you're trying to associate with this particular device template. And if you know the sysobject ID, you can enter it here, or you can go and use the sysobject ID finder in the settings, or you can directly query the device here. Click on query device, and here you can enter the host name or the IP address here. And once you click on add, that particular device's sysobject ID will be associated with this new device template that you're creating permanently. So moving on to the backup credentials. So to make your device backups very much secure, you'll have to associate credentials to those devices and provide those credentials to NCM so that a communication channel can be established between the device and network configuration manager to perform the configuration backup operations seamlessly. So the possible combinations for a protocol backup using NCM is SSH, Telnet, SSH TFTP, Telnet TFTP, SSH SCP, or SNMP TFTP. So let me quickly take you through all of these combination of protocols and tell you how they work. So when you use the SSH or Telnet protocol for a configuration backup, a communication channel is established using SSH or Telnet, and the configuration backup commands are sent through this channel from NCM to the device, and the device responds by sending the device configuration back through the same channel to NCM, where it is encrypted and stored in database. In the SSH SCP, the communication channel is established using SSH and SCP, and the configuration commands are sent through this channel using the SSH protocol, and the device responds by sending the configuration file through this channel back to the SCP server using the SCP protocol, and the SCP server receives this configuration, encrypts it, and stores it in the database. So as the protocols change, as the protocol commands and as the protocol combinations change, all the changes is the communication channel that is being established and what protocol is being used to send the configuration backup commands and receive the configuration files. And all these files are encrypted and stored in the database. So if you're using the SNMP TFTP protocol, there's no communication channel that is being established. An SNMP request is sent for configuration backup, and the configuration file transfer happens through TFTP. The TFTP server in NCM then receives this file, encrypts it, and stores it in the database. So providing credentials in NCM is very simple. You can do it directly from the inventory. So before I show you how, let me just show you a comparison of entering the credentials manually in a Telnet or PuTTY window and in the NCM window. So on the left in the black window is the Telnet, PuTTY Telnet console, and on the right side is the NCM window where you'll be applying the credentials, entering the credentials and applying them to the devices. So here's another example where the device is directly going into enable mode. So you can enter the prompt here for such devices, select the protocol accordingly and click on save and test. And there's another example of a 3COM router where the prompt again differs. So once you're done entering the credentials, all you have to do is click on save and test. So let me show you how you can associate credentials here. So once you've discovered the device, it'll appear in the inventory here, and you can click on this particular icon to add or change the credentials. So you can see that the protocol has been selected here. You can change the protocol if required, or you can select from an existing credential profile if you need it to be associated to a credential profile. And you'll have to give the login name, the password, and a prompt according to the device requirements. And once you're done entering all the credential details here, you can choose to back up the device immediately after updating the credentials, or you can uncheck this option if you don't want a backup to be performed. And once you're done with that, you can click save and test if you want NCM to check if those particular credentials are right, or you can just click on save if you want to perform operations later. So sometimes while entering the credentials, you might face the error saying that the credentials are valid, but the file transfer has failed. So in such cases, the most probable cause is the TFTP or SCP servers not being started. So you can go and check the running status of these servers and restart them if required. So I'll show you how to do that. You go to settings, you go to general settings, you go to server settings here. So here you can see the running status of each of these servers. So this is the TFTP server. You can see that the status is running here. If it is not, you can always click on start the service, and you can go and click on save. And the same applies to all the other servers like the SCP server or the syslog server. So all you have to do is click on start service if the status is not running, and you can click on save, and this credential issue will immediately be fixed. So moving on to one of the important operations in configuration management, which is configuration backup. NCM has three different types of backup, which is the first one is instant backup, where you can back up the configuration of a single device or multiple devices at the same time. Then we have a real-time change detection based backup, and then finally have the schedule backup. So I'll show you how the instant backup works first. So this is very simple compared to the other kinds of backup. All you have to do is go to the inventory, select one or more devices, click on the three-dot menu icon here, and once you click on backup, NCM will immediately trigger the backup for all of these devices. You can also view the backup status of all the devices. So you can see that all these devices have been backed up appropriately. So this is the instant backup for single or multiple devices. Then we have the real-time change direction based backup, where NCM detects if any user has logged into the device, made some kind of change, and immediately triggers a backup. So going in detail to this particular type of backups, this is how it works. The user logs into the device and makes some kinds of command changes in the device. So the syslog listener keeps listening for a logout message, and once the user logs out of the device, passes the syslog message, and it compares the new configuration version which the user has just made change to, and it compares that with the most recent configuration version So if any kind of change is detected, the latest configuration version, which the user has just made change to, will be backed up and is encrypted and stored in the database. If no change has been found, the latest configuration version is again discarded. So this is how the real-time change detection bus configuration works, configuration backup works. So to enable configuration backup using real-time change detection, all you have to do is select the device, click on the three-dot menu icon here, and once you click on enable change detection, every time a user logs in and logs out of a particular device, NCM will ensure that if he has made any kind of changes to the device, the configuration is backed up immediately, and if not, it is discarded as well. So sometimes the uh, real-time change detection based configuration backup does not work because NCM does not support change detection, real-time change detection for that particular device. So this is most likely due to the reason that NCM does not support syslog for that particular model. So you can fix this by enabling syslog by connecting to the device manually and executing the enable syslog commands, or if you're finding it difficult to do that, you can always contact NCM support. So another reason is that change detection is enabled, but if the change is not detected, so this could be due to mismatched ports, or if the NCM syslog server is not in running status. So as I showed earlier, you can go to the server settings and restart the server. Moving on to the schedule backup, this particular type of backup can be used for any kind of critical device where you run routine backups. So this cuts down on the manual effort here and the time taken to backup configurations of multiple critical devices every day. So you can schedule backups for every day, every month, every week, or you can even set it for an hourly basis. So let me show you how you can schedule a backup. So you go to settings here, go to schedule, go to all schedules. So here you can see the list of all the schedules of various different network configuration tasks, and all you have to do to add a new schedule is click on the add button here, give the schedule a name, select the schedule type. So here we're trying to backup configuration, so select configuration backup, and you can select specific devices here individually, or you can click the select device group, select a device group if it's a Cisco router group, Cisco switch group, and so on. So you can select the device group. You can choose to get an email notification of the schedule report, or you can just save the report to your local drive. So you can choose one of these options. So you can specify the email here, email subject, and you can choose one of these options if you're required to do that. So you can choose to get notification if there's a configuration change, or you can also choose to exclude configuration difference from the report or the notification. And you can also notify if there's a backup, if there's a failure in the schedule backup. So once you're done selecting all of those options, you can choose the frequency here. You want it to happen once, monthly, weekly, daily, or just hourly. So here you can select the date, and you can select the time here and the time interval as well if you want it to happen to every 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or so on. So once you're done with that, you can click on save, and the schedule backup will be associated with all the devices that you've just selected. So there's a chance of having a schedule backup failure. So this could be due to the device credentials being incorrect. So the credentials might have been correct when you first entered them, but they would have been modified later on. So the backup operations will not be executed successfully. So in such cases, you can just go back to the credentials, edit them with the right credentials, and you can perform the configuration backup using the schedule option. So a few other reasons for the backup failing is the credentials being changed or invalid. And just like I said, you can go and edit the credentials or update them. Or it could be due to the ports TFTP or the ports being blocked, or the TFTP or SCP server not being started. So you can go and check if the ports are available in the NCM server settings, or you can go and restart the servers as well. Or it could be due to the file size being so huge that the configuration backup action exceeds this timeout settings. And so you can go and fix this by updating the timeout settings in the device template, or it could be due to unsupported backup commands. So again, you'll have to go back to the device templates and update the commands, or you can create a new device template with the right commands. So moving on to the change management module. So with the change management module, you can understand what kind of change has been made to which device in your network, who made it, and when exactly this configuration change was made. So NCM automatically versions and stores all the configuration, different versions, different numbers of the configurations in the database, and you can go and view who, when, and what of every change in the network configuration DB. You can also view the historical change trend as well. And you can view a diff view, which is a color-coded view, a comparison view of the of two different versions of a configuration, or you can view the difference between two different configurations of two different devices as well. So let me quickly take you through the change management module. So go to the inventory, and to view the configuration changes in any kind of device, all you have to do is click on the device here, and it will take you to the device snapshot page. Here you can click on the config details. So this is the configuration history of that particular device. So you can see that there's only one version here, and the change type was unauthorized. So let me take you to a device where there are multiple versions of configurations. Going to the config details here. So here you can see that there are multiple configuration versions. You can see the username who made the changes, what type of configuration it was, if it was the startup configuration or the running configuration, what change type it was. So NCM detects all the changes that are made outside NCM, which is through a telnet or PuTTY window, as unauthorized changes. So only changes that are made through NCM itself on the devices is detected as authorized changes. And again, you can see the device name or the device IP address, and here you can see the date and time on which the configuration change was made. So this is the entire configuration history of that particular device, and this is the current running and startup configuration of that particular device. And again, you can see the various drafts that have been stored and have not been pushed into the NCM window or the device itself. So moving on to the firmware vulnerability management. So this is one of our recent features, and we are continuously working on upgrading this feature. So this helps you understand the position of your network with respect to firmware vulnerability. So this feature, this module gives you an entire list of all the devices that are running on vulnerable firmware versions. So you can view the CVE ID and the details of that particular vulnerability using the reference links provided within the NCM console itself, and you can go and take measures to fix them. You can also generate vulnerability reports based on the NCM scanning and capturing and discovery of the vulnerable devices. So let me quickly take you through the firmware vulnerability console here. So here you can see the CVE ID, the number of devices, and the base score here. So the base score here represents the severity from, so it's a score from 0 to 10, 10 being the most severe. So 7.5 is a really high score, and this is very critical in your network. So you'll have to take measures to fix the firmware vulnerabilities by upgrading them. So let me drill down into this particular CVE ID here, and it will show me all the devices that have this particular vulnerability in them. So I can see the device name, the IP address, the series, the model, and so on. And here I can choose to view the reference URL link, learn a little more about the firmware vulnerability, and learn how to fix them. So this is a list of all the firmware vulnerabilities, and I can choose to view the firmware vulnerabilities and the devices associated with respect to their severity. So here's critical, important, moderate, low, so on. So I can choose to generate a report of all the firmware vulnerabilities using PDF export, CSV file import, or I can choose to get it via email. So the firmware vulnerability database is synced to the NCM database, synced from the NIST database to the NCM database every day at 2 a.m. by default, but you can go and choose to change the time and choose the DB sync to happen for a different time. So let me show you how to do that. Go to firmware vulnerability, go to sync vulnerability database. Here you can change the time. I can make it to 4 o'clock. I can click on save, and when I click update now, the everyday schedule time will be changed, and every day the schedule will now run at 4 a.m. Here I can view the time and date of the last successful update and of the next scheduled time. So once I update this, click on the update button, this will change to 4 a.m. Moving on to the final part of the training, where we'll be talking about disaster recovery. So disaster in networks generally encompasses performance degradation, a full-blown network outage, or a security breach, which could lead to a massive data breach, loss of reputation, and legal consequences as well. So if you manage your configurations right and your firewall rules right, you can ensure that all of these disasters are taken care of. And even if you, in the worst case, fall prey to a network disaster, you could always ensure that your network disaster is reverted promptly with you using network configuration manager. So you can be prepared for a network disaster by ensuring that you have baseline configuration versions for most of your devices, and you'll have to sync the startup and running configuration. You can trigger change notifications, and a rollback mechanism can be configured, or you can export configurations. So let me tell you how these different operations work with respect to network disaster recovery. So a baseline configuration is essentially the most stable configuration version of that particular device. So if you've made a change in the network device which has led to a data breach or a full-blown network outage, all you have to do is upload this particular baseline configuration version back into the device, and it will immediately revert all kinds of the network disaster, be it a security breach or a full-blown network outage. So to upload a baseline configuration, or to select or to label a version of configuration as a baseline version, all you have to do is select a particular device. You can select any device if you're choosing. Click on the three-dot menu here. Click on the label configuration. So I'm going to label a particular version of the configuration as the baseline version. So anytime something goes wrong with the network because of configuration change in that particular device, I can upload the baseline configuration there. So here I can select baseline. And once I click on save, the current running configuration of this particular device will be saved as its baseline version. Now, whenever there's a network data breach or whenever there's a network outage due to this device, all I have to do is select the device and upload the baseline configuration. So all I have to do is click on the upload configuration here, select baseline, and since the current protocol here selected does not support a file transfer or a file upload, NCM does not allow you to upload the baseline configuration version, but you can go and change this in the credentials, change a protocol that supports file transfer like the Telnet TFTP or SSH SCP TFTP protocol. So you can select one of these, and you can go back to NCM, the NCM inventory, and once you can click on the upload configuration, and now you'll be able to upload the baseline configuration back into the device. So any kind of network disaster due to a configuration change can immediately be reverted. So as I just showed you, the protocols that do not support file transfer do not support a file upload as well back to the device using NCM. So you'll have to go and change the protocols accordingly to one of these protocols which supports file transfer. So it could also be due to the device template not having the upload command. So all you have to do is go to the device template and provide the appropriate upload commands for that specific device, or you can create a new device template and associate the device to that particular template. So moving on to the startup and running configuration sync. So this part of the network configuration management is very important because you might have made changes to the running configuration of the device. So, and these changes might have been very critical or security related. But if you do not copy the changes to the startup configuration of that particular device, device reboot or a power outage can wipe out all the changes that you made to the running configuration. So to help with this and detect all the configuration conflict between the startup and running configurations, NCM has provided a separate option here. So here you can view the configuration conflict. So all these devices which has the conflict detected message have a difference in their startup and running configurations. To fix this, all you have to do is click on the device here, select the device, click on the three-dot menu here, and once you click sync configuration, NCM will trigger a sync between the startup and running configuration. So all the changes that you've made to the running configuration of the device will now be copied to the startup configuration. So again, you might face the error of an upload failure. So you'll have to go and check the protocols to check if they support file transfer, or it could be due to the device, the timeout settings in the device templates. So you can go back to the device templates and change it in the command settings. So again, you can go and check the TFTP and SCP servers running status as well in the server settings. And if they're not in running status, you can restart them and successfully perform a startup running configuration sync. So NCM might not detect the conflict in the device between the startup and running configuration. So this is due to the real-time change detection being disabled. So you can go and select the device and enable change detection if syslog is supported. So if syslog is not supported, the configuration conflict, just the startup and running configuration conflict, will be detected after the next successful backup, scheduled backup, or a manual backup operation. So with NCM, you can also trigger and create new notification profiles based on what kind of changes you have to be alerted about. So you can create configuration change notifications to receive notifications via email, SNMP trouble ticket, generate a syslog message for a change event, so on. And you can also trigger a rollback mechanism. So let me show you how to do this. So you go to the change management here. So these are a bunch of notification profiles already created. So to create a new notification profile, all you have to do is click on the plus icon here, give the notification a name, description if you want to. Select the configuration type for which you want to receive notification for. You can choose both or either one of the configuration types, and the change type as well if you want to get alerted for an authorized change, or for both kind of changes. Here you can choose the channel via which you want to receive a notification. You can select email, give an email ID, subject, a message, and so on. Or if you want to choose SNMP traps, you can provide the host name, the destination port, and the community as well. And here you can choose to receive syslog messages. So this will be useful if you have a log management software like Firewall Analyzer. And you can use a ticket generating system as well to raise trouble tickets whenever there's a configuration change being made. Also, you can choose to configure a rollback mechanism in those devices. So all you have to do is select one of these rollback mechanisms. So if you select this particular option, every time a change is made to the device, it will roll back, NCM will roll back the device to its previous configuration itself, or you can choose NCM to roll back the configuration to the device's particular device's baseline version. So once you're done selecting all the options required, you can click on next. Here you can associate this particular notification profile to a device, a single device, multiple devices, or to a device group. So once you're done with that, you can click on save. And since I've selected the rollback option, now every time a network operator user tries to make a change to those to the devices that is selected here, the configuration will be rolled back to its baseline version or to its previous version. So by doing this, you can ensure that no kind of changes are made to your critical network devices like your core router or your firewall, or you can ensure that every change that is being made is reverted and you get a notification alert. Finally, we have the export configuration option. So you can export all the configuration files in a readable format within the NCM server itself. So you can schedule this operation as well. So you can use this operation. You can export the configuration files and upload them manually whenever NCM is rendered unaccessible or not reachable due to some reason. So you can always have a backup, a manual backup in a readable format of all the configuration files in your network. So all you have to do is go to settings. You go to export configuration here. Here you can set the schedule. So you can choose daily, weekly, or monthly. You can choose the time here. You can give an email ID if you want to get notified via email for every successful export configuration, or it will also alert you if there's a failure in the configuration export operation. Here you can choose specific devices, or you can choose device groups. You can choose to get notified on failure, and you can choose if you want all the folders, all the files, configuration files to be saved in the same folder. Here you can choose the folder format, whichever date format you use in your local time. So once you're done with that, you can click on save if it's a schedule for a later time, or you can click export configurations now immediately to get all the configuration files that you've selected here of all the devices immediately into your NCM server. So you can use this later when NCM is not reachable. You can use them and upload configurations via a command line interface like a telnet or a PuTTY. So we've reached the end of the training. And if you're already using Network Configuration Manager in your network for various configuration management tasks and executing various network configuration tasks, you can go and give us a shout out on Captra. So these are a few reviews that we've received recently. And if you want to write us a review on Captra, you can go and visit this particular link. So we'll be sending this link along with the training materials in a couple of days. So for every review that you give us for NCM, we'll give a $25 Amazon gift card. So once you're done reviewing, you'll have to reach out to us saying that you've reviewed our product, and we'll process the gift card immediately. So we'll meet again next week with the second part of the training, same time on the 13th of August. So we'll be discussing about the features like configlets, compliance, role-based access control, and reports. So this is the agenda here. We'll be talking about how you can schedule different configuration tasks, how you can execute configlets, how you can schedule configlets, how you can check your network for compliance, and how you can fix compliance violations in your network, how you can receive notifications and alerts based on various parameters in your network configurations. We'll be talking a little more about role-based access control and how you can restrict access to different network devices in your network for various users. And finally, we'll be talking about the different types of reports and how they can help you with analysis and compliance and also auditing purposes. So if you have any doubts at all, you can always reach us at ncm-support@managengine.com. So you can go and check out our earlier training videos at youtube.com/opmanagertechvideo. So that is our YouTube channel. Or you can go and have a look at our customer discussions here in the forums.managengine.com. Or if you have anything to discuss with respect to Network Configuration Manager, you can go there and start a discussion. So thank you for tuning in. Let's meet next Thursday, same time. Bye-bye.